Hello, hello.
Hello,
Oops.
hello.
All right, I guess we're going to get started here.
Yes.
Hey, everyone. Hey to my good friend Mark from coming to us all the way from Mexico. We're going to be presenting a webinar today for you guys. It's a webinar we've done a few times before. It's called, if we go to the page here, you can see, hopefully you guys can see my screen right now. We're going to be talking about Mark's going to be talking about the awesome looking character animation with the 12 principles. These are just very basic principles for, beginner animators, stuff that you need to get down if you want to get into the field of animation and create good animations. I'll let Mark explain more about it later, obviously, but you can see the outline right here. If you have signed up for this, you've probably already seen the outline, so I won't spend too much time talking about that. I'll let Mark introduce it a little bit later. But I'm going to be basically introducing the structure of our webinar today. We're going to be basically having a live demo with Mark, and then at the end we're going to have a Q&A session. So if you have any questions that you come up with throughout the webinar, please put those in the Q&A section of your Zoom panel there, and we will get to those at the end of the webinar. You can put them in any time. Just be aware, we're not going to be answering questions from the chat window. We may be putting links in the chat a little bit later on or throughout the webinar as well. But yeah, any questions, go to the Q&A panel and put those questions in there. We'll get to them at the end. All right, what else? We are recording this as well and live streaming on YouTube. So if you have, if you miss anything, you want to come back and watch it later again, we're going to be sending you guys a link via email so you can check it out. Don't worry if you miss anything. If something goes too fast for you, you can always review it a little bit later on. And we're also going to be sending out a survey survey to you guys. So let us know any kind of topics, any kind of things you want to learn about more in the future, and put all your feedback into that survey, and you get a 10% discount for the content store, a code for content purchases, Cartoon Animator, Character Creator, iClone, whatever you want. Today's webinar is obviously about Cartoon Animator, the 2D spectrum of Revolution software. And let's see, what else? I got a couple things here I want to go through real quick before I hand the reins over to Mark. The first thing is we have a special in the content store. Right now, it's called 2D scene selection. You can see up here, you get up to 50% off. If you buy over 55, you get 3,000 DA points. All kinds of deals going on here. So there's tons and tons of backgrounds that are available for your scenes. You can see here, you can just check out this. There goes my phone. Check out this page right here. I'll throw this in the chat window so you guys can actually access it a little bit faster. Where is my Zoom chat? There it is. All right, so you can follow that link to get to the content store promo. And as always, if you don't have Cartoon Animator yet, please feel free to download the trial version. It's good for 30 days. You can kind of test out everything to kind of see if it's your jam. This is the download page, and I'll throw this in the chat window as well. Shabam, there we go. Cool, and I guess that's really all there is to it. As always with the content store, there's a weekly special in the content store. If you click on content store or just go to the content store, you can go here to, there's freebies, there's weekly specials right here. The weekly special right now is actually a 3D pack. So, not really useful for Cartoon Animator character or people, but you can see it goes down from $59 to $3. So always come back and check out the weekly special in the content store. Make sure you, take advantage of all those killer deals. And there's also freebies as well. I believe the freebie is also in the 3D area. Yeah, this is the living room look at. This is a motion for iClone, which you can actually transfer over to Cartoon Animator with the plugin, and we'll talk about that maybe a little bit later if you guys want to learn more about how to, take 3D motions and apply them to your 2D characters. But yeah, I think that's enough about me blabbering on. I think, Mark, are you there?
Yeah, but I cannot start the video. I'm trying to start video. You cannot start video because host has something.
Let me make you a co-host. Give it a shot now.
Aha!
There you
go.
Welcome back.
Alive.
There he is.
Already.
Right on. So yeah, I think I've done as much talking as I need to do, Mark, to just give you the introduction. Mark Diaz has been a trainer with us for a long time, a pro at all our Revolution products. So he knows what he's talking about, and he has some, he has his own website and a training videos as well that you can check out. I don't have those links up, and maybe you can send them out later or whatever.
Alrighty.
Yeah, but I think Mark, are you ready to rock and roll? Ready to go?
Yeah. All right. Okay. So,
all right, let's do it.
So let's get it started. I'm going to share my screen first. I invite you guys to like one of the things that I like to do is to make my lessons practical. Now, some of you have already seen this class probably, and it's about the 12 principles. But still, if you haven't done, like maybe you already watched it, but maybe you didn't follow it, I'm going to encourage you to, if you don't have Cartoon Animator, download the trial right now, because we're gonna use it later in a couple of tutorials. Right now, while I do the introduction and I explain a little bit of theory, you can download it and install it. Right, do it right now, because later I want you to download these project files. Let me just copy this, copy and paste here. And oh wait, it's not, I'm posting it for everybody. There you go. Okay, everybody should be able to see this, right? It's a link where you can get these files, right? And that's what I'm going to be working with. I have a couple of files that we're gonna go through in this class. And so you can follow along. If remember the quote from Benjamin Franklin, if you just sit down there and watch, you won't learn. You learn when you engage with the material. All right. So let's get it started. The first thing is I'm going to explain the 12 principles of animation. Okay. So what are they? What are the 12 principles? Like, why would you care? Like, okay, yeah, the 12 principles. Yeah, that's a good thing out there. What about me? What's in it for me? So if you learn the 12 principles, you're going to be able to improve the way your characters express personality and emotion. I'm gonna show you an example. Now, for this example, I'm going to use these videos, and sometimes depending on the connection you have, sometimes I'm sharing a video. Actually, let me optimize for video when I share. Optimize for video clip, so it lags a little bit less. If for any reason you struggle, you can also use that link that I just posted, and it should open this, right? And now I'm going to show you this animation of two characters doing the same poses, going through the same key poses, but one of them has like the 12 principles applied, and the other one doesn't. All right. So let me play it, and you guys well, actually, I think the chat is disabled, so I don't think you can participate. But just think for yourself, which one do you think has the 12 principles? I'm gonna play it. Okay, which one has personality and it's more believable as a dancer than the other? The one on the top or the one at the bottom, right? So you guys tell me. By the way, if we could activate the chat for a little while, just so I can interact. But if not, then we leave it like that. I think we would agree that the top, right? The top, because it, like, this is just kind of floating, ghosting the way here, like maybe a skater or something, because it's just okay. Perfect. You can now chat. So type right here really quick. You can type bottom or top, right? Okay, top. Alrighty, so we have a couple of people. Top. The bottom looks really weird. Yes, Abby. Yes, exactly. So this is definitely very good eye. Very good eye. Really nice. The 12 principles help you achieve those types of results. Okay. Now, there was a time, a long time ago, 1930s, almost 100 years ago, guys. It has been almost a century. When these guys at Disney, right, Walt Disney was like starting out, and they like animation was not as amazing as right now. They were struggling at the time. There were no schools on animation. It was a new thing. They were like, then Walt was like discovering it, and oh my, he was so amazed. And then he started doing like little animations, and then he started getting hired for that stuff. Like, oh, what's that thing? So drawings move, interesting. And then at some point, he got a couple of animators, and some people wanted to impress Walt, right? So that way you could get a job on this. And so they would give him an animation like this, and then he would look at it, and then he would say, no, it's not real. Like I see it, imagine like that ballerina, right? It's weird. It's not real. It has to feel real. And then they would, okay, real. And then they would deliver something stupidly real. And then he would say, no, that's too real. We're doing cartoons. You should put more like playfulness into it. And then they were like, oh, okay. Like this, no, that's too fake. That's not okay. So he wants real, I give him real. Then he wants cartoon, I give him, well, what the heck does he want? At some point, by trying to find this thing, what's that thing? They started coming up with concepts like, no, it's because this has this kind of follow through to it, or like this squash and stretch, and little by little, those words were repeated so often that they became the 12 principles of animations, right? And the first time they published it was in this book, The Illusion of Life. I recommend it. And in there, like, you can even, if you find it on a library or something, you can go, it's on chapter 3, the 12 principles of animation, right? And it's pretty cool because Walt realized that the 12 principles helped you to express personality. That was the thing. That was the thing that made your characters feel alive. And so there's 12 principles. And in this class, I want to share you the 4 most important of them, right? And the 4 most important, by the way, let me just I want to, before I go into those 4 principles, let me just show you another part of the demonstration just to prove that what happens through the movement is where the 12 principles are. Let me share my screen again. And I'm going to go to this project file that if you have Cartoon Animator, you can see it here. Like, let me just, if you go to the project files, you download it from the link on the chat, is this one, Ballerina Compare, right? So look at the pose, right? And if I go to position to frame 15, you can see that they have the same position, right? The same key poses. I go to frame 40, and again, the same. And then frame 66, the same. What's the difference? The difference is what happens in between. You see? So if I go slowly, bit by bit, you can see the difference. This one, there's like, in this one, she's starting to fall, and then she catches herself. There's gravity. So one of the things that make the 12 principles work is that there's inertia, there's gravity. So when you put those elements into your story, into your animation, it becomes more real. Thank you so much for putting the link again. There you go. Yes. So this is so helpful to understand, right? So now let me go to the 4 principles that today, after this class, I want you to, okay, those 4 principles. I guarantee you, in Cartoon Animator, if you just like stay vigilant of those 4 principles, you're gonna do great, right? So the first is slow in and slow out. I'm gonna explain them in a little bit, right? The second one is anticipation. And I'm putting them in priority. So if you forget everything from today, just apply this one. Slow in and slow out is I would say the most important of all. And then anticipation. And then the third is this is where you take into account physics, right? You need energy before doing any action. And then this one is the aftermath. This is great for when you want to put inertia. It's called follow through, right? This one, ooh, adds so much realism. And I actually is called, the complete name is follow through and overlapping action, right? Overlapping action. Very good. And then number 4, this one is timing. Okay. Now at the end, I also want to cover one more thing that is just kind of combining all of this and create something believable, which is I'm going to cover the mistake that I see most frequently. Every time I see an animation by Cartoon Animator, I can also I can almost close my eyes and say, okay, it's gonna have that mistake. And then I open them and then I play it and I knew it. It has that mistake, right? I'm gonna refer to it at the end. Okay, so let's get it started. The slow in and slow out for this, I want to show you a demonstration, right? First, I'm going to demonstrate with a video. Like, where does slow in and slow out come from, right? And so I'm going to share with you this video, right? I prepared this some time ago. And just look at it, right? It's me moving the hand from one side to another, right? Is it anything, did I did anything special, anything magical in there? Or did I just move my hand to the sides? Can you share in the chat? Was it natural? Was it weird? Was it like, that's not how real human, like the head moved? Okay, interesting, nice observations. I want to focus on the movement of the hand, right? Like, yeah, I'm relaxed. Am I like acceleration, deceleration, Simone? Wasn't natural, blurring. Okay, what first? This, okay. Blurred in the middle. Interesting, interesting. So what I did was just this, right? Just that. Now, kind of the point I want to make is that it didn't feel like this, right? Which is the opposite of slow in and slow out. Now, a couple of you, like Simone Falcone, you got it. Yes. This is what's happening is that I am made of organs, muscles. And so when I start moving, it starts accelerating into the movement and decelerating out. It's slowing into the movement and slowing out of the movement, right? Now, to appreciate that better, let's play this in like slow motion. Look, you can see that it's slow and then fast and slow. Let's play it even slower. Look at how slow it starts, tick, 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 and then it goes faster, 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 slowing out. And then slowing into the movement. It's slow, 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 fast, fast, slowing out of the movement. Why? Because I am made of muscles. I am organic. And so probably anyone here has heard the term organic, like make it look more, it doesn't look organic when you're describing an animation. Anyone? If yes, then this is what they mean. If not, then whenever you hear it, and at some point you're gonna hear it, that's what it means. Like, oh, it's a character made of organs. It's not a machine. It's not like a robot. It's actually a human being. So in Cartoon Animator, how do you do that? Okay, so let me start a new project. And this is slow in and slow out. I put CISO, slow in and slow out. And so less mechanic movement looks more natural. Exactly. Richard, you say, yes, natural movement. Richard, Master Warrior Rich. So yeah, this is an example. I'm gonna play this. This one has a little bit of slow in and slow out, right? And the way you do slow in and slow out in Cartoon Animator, right, is by just doing this. I'm going to open my timeline, and then with the character selected, I go to where it says motion. First, I click here to show the timeline, and then I select the character, I click on motion, and look what happens. I get a ton of keyframes. And in those keyframes, I'm going to see that one just below motion, it says transform. Though all of these keyframes, all I have to do is take them and select them to have a smooth transition. Look, transition curve. Look, this one has, can you see? Smooth transition. Now I'm going to make it feel more robotic. Select all of them and then make it linear, right? So now this should also be linear, and this is linear. Okay, so now it's gonna feel more mechanical. A little bit, right? Now, look at that again. Let's see if you can spot the difference between that and this one. I just selected all I'm doing is click and drag on all these keyframes, and then on the transition curve, I just click here. Boom, I just applied slow in and slow out. Let me play it. It feels a little bit more organic. Now, if I want, I can also select all of these, have the smooth, and then play with the strength. I'm gonna put my like 70% strength. Look at that. This, when he moves like this, it starts accelerating. Let's go frame by frame. He goes like faster, and then in the middle, he goes pretty fast. And then he gets there, right? So this part, actually, this part, it's kind of, okay, really, really cool. Now, let me start a new project here and start with any character. I'm going too fast. I have content manager and then actor, and then I click on character. Just make sure you are on template. Character, open this. I just click on this little arrow, right? And then 360, and then I select human, the first one. Then I'm gonna select Philip. Okay. And then with this guy, I'm just gonna do a quick animation. I just press letter K. Let me show what I'm pressing so you can see. I just have the character selected and press letter K, and this opens the 2D motion key editor. You can also go to here, right here, and it opens the same. But I think for me, it's faster to just press the key on the keyboard. So I'm zooming in. For those of you totally new in Cartoon Animator, let me give you a quick tour. When you have anything in the like the workspace, you can press Alt and then click and drag, and you move to the sides up and down. And if you have Alt and then both clicks, you can zoom in and out, right? So I do that a lot. Now, what if you are on a laptop and you don't have a mouse with 2 clicks? What you do is you use these tools at the top. This one here at the top is for zooming and zoom out, right? And then I can select another one, this, and move up and down and to the sides. And whenever I want to continue editing, I select that arrow, right? Okay, and yes, Ken Kawashima. Yes, that's called twinning. Very nice. Let me select this character again, press K, and I'm going to put him in a more natural position, right? Like this. Now I'm going to have him raise his arm, right? So what I do is I'm going to open the timeline by clicking here, open the timeline, and then just go to frame 20 so he keeps that position. I want him to stay like that for the first 20 frames. It's a little bit less than a second. So all I do is click on set key. Book. That set a key, right? Look at this. Now, tip. Whenever I'm animating, I want to see a track that says transform. I don't see it. I see torso, arm, forearm. Where's my transform? Well, I need to click on motion. So I click on motion. Now I have the transform. Those are the master keyframes. Okay, so with that, now I'm going to go to frame, let's say 35, and then move his hand. I'm gonna take this hand and then just do this as if he was reaching out for something, right? Let's see that movement. That is a robot. Yeah. Hi, I am Philip. I am a human, right? That I don't believe you. You're not a human. You're just some kind of robot, right? And he can be hi and then try to wave to us. I'm gonna change the sprite because let me just stop. Right now his hand is like this, so he's reaching out like this. So I'm just gonna switch his hand to this. So he does like hi, right? It's gonna look a little bit weird. Let me share this screen. And the hand is going to change in the middle, like right here. And for that, I just press S. And yes, Ken, what happened in between all I did was one position in here and another position in here, and everything in between was animated automatically for us by Cartoon Animator. Pretty cool, huh? So yeah, that's called twinning, and it happens automatically like magic. Now I press letter S and I got the sprite editor. You can also get it. Let me just turn it off. And you can also get it by clicking here, right? You click there and then you get boop, the sprites. Now I select this hand. So with this selected, I just click on the hand and then I'm going to select what hand? This one. I'm gonna use, let's see if there's another one. This one is better. Yes, this is better for saying hi. Is number 29, almost at the end. Okay, so look, he's like this, and then he opens his palm, and then he's gonna say hi to us. So let's have him like from there. I press K. Again, you can also press this button right here, and then move his forearm here, and then back, right? And then just copy paste. I'm going to go all the way to the top. Like in the timeline, I'm gonna scroll all the way up. Zip, and then take these two keyframes and then copy paste a couple of times. So now we have this animation. Hello, my name, hi, I'm Hal, the guy from Space Odyssey. Are you feeling sad? Right? It's weird. I don't trust him. Like, tell me your name and I will be your friend. No, he's gonna kill me, right? So if I want to convey the illusion of life, I need to make him organic, and all I have to do, yes, it's an awkward way to wave. Now look at how this improves by just clicking again. Let me just pause a little bit. Don't do it here because this is the wrong track. This is the hip, or it can be the torso or whatever. Make sure that the ones that you're selecting are at the top and they are on a track called transform. If you don't see it, it's because you don't have this selected, right? So make sure you click on motion, you're showing transform, and then click and drag on all of those, and then right click, transition curve, and look at this, smooth. Ooh, now it's going to look more organic. Actually, for the first movement, like from here to here, I'm just gonna put this one in the middle is going to be linear because it's in the middle. It's the only exception, linear. So it goes through that motion. Let me just not transform. A little bit better, right? What if I skip this keyframe? Ah, what happened? I want to select this keyframe. Yes, let me skip from here. That was a little bit better. This one, transition curve, smooth. And what about this one? Ah, what? All of those are linear. Let me again select all of these, right click, transition, smooth. Let's see if that works. That's a little bit better. Now he's a little bit tense, but at least his movement now feels more organic, right? Look at this. In compared to, let me again, I'm going to select all of these, right click, transition curve, linear. This is like high, right? Let me undo. This is very subtle, very subtle. But guys, look at how easy this was. If I was doing this drawing by drawing, I would have to like draw here and then another hand, like draw it here and then another here and then faster and faster and then another hand here. Like it's so many drawings. In here, like just select all of them and just put smooth and that's it. So it's pretty fast, right? His expression needs to change to make him more organic. Yeah, because he's like, right? And yeah, if I wanted to change his expression, I would just go to sprites. I press letter S, select, for example, actually, we could select this and put a smile, right? Maybe a smile, maybe this. I'm going to actually select the not this one. Actually, yeah, I could do, let me show you the magic of Cartoon Animator. I'm going to animate the head really quick. This is not part of the principles, but it's because it's fun and it's so fast. I'm going to select the face puppet, and then I'm just gonna click record, but before, let me preview. I want this one that is the happy one, preview, then press space. So he's going to be alive a little bit, right? Okay, so let me press record. Actually, wait, I see the happy one here. Let's see. Yeah, alrighty. So that's gonna be him, and then I can click, and then his eyes blink every time I click, right? Now I want to not move the eyes. All right, so he's all the time looking at us. Okay, so now I'm in frame 1, and then I press record, and then he's going to just, right? Really cool. So look at that. Now I have a little animation of the face, and it looks a little bit more natural. Hey, hello. Really cool, right? So look at that. All of that happened in a couple of seconds. My dog is here. She wants some attention, but I'm sorry. Okay, so let me continue now. Hopefully this makes sense. That is how very easily you can apply slow in and slow out. Just select the keyframes, untransform, and select smooth. That's it, right? There are other ones you can experiment, like select the other ones and then play it and right? Now let's talk about anticipation. This is more techniques that we can add to make characters look more dynamic, right? Now, actually, I didn't go through this. This is the same concept. We just went a little bit deeper, but this is the animation of a character that looks a little bit robotic. No slow in and slow out, right? And then this one, the same expression, just with some changes with slow in and slow out. And I did something else in here. Like the way he pulls his arms up is through the front. Look at this, right? Different than this one. And that is because in real life, if I'm going to raise my hand, I don't do this. If I'm like, I'm gonna touch my head, I don't do this. That's weird, right? Like, I feel like if I was saluting like some general or something. But normally, if I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, this problem is so that looks so weird, right? Instead, I go like, oh my god. So look at how I raise naturally my hand on this direction, not like this, like this. That is called foreshortening. So I want to show you really quick how to do that in Cartoon Animator. So just in case you need your characters to do that, if I wanted him to raise his hand, not like this, but through the front, all I would do is go to the keyframe, like find a place in the middle. Let me go all the way to the top, right? Like around here, and then just have the hand. I press K to bring the motion key editor, and then I'm going to disable the constraints a little bit. And let me tell you why. If I take this hand and try to get it closer, I'm not foreshortening, right? That's cool when I need the forward kinematics, inverse kinematics, but right now I don't want that. Instead, let me undo all of that, all the movement. Instead, I'm going to disable the constraints, and look what happens. Now the hand is starting to go like right now it looks weird, right? Like, oh, what happened to the hand? But in motion, it's going to look okay because of the interpolation. And yes, someone said interpolation. That's how it's called, like the changes between frames. This one cannot be smooth, should not be smooth. This one should be linear. Let's see. It still feels weird, like from here to here. Probably that was like way too much. Let me press K. Let's see here. It's because it's kind of slowing down in here and then speed up. That I don't like that. So let me just go to here. And one thing that I do is in here, it's going to from here to here is going to accelerate. And then from that one to this one is going to decelerate, right? Now I need to also add more keyframes. Let me just press K. Did this add keyframes on all the parts of the body? Let me just, yes. Okay, perfect. So right click, transition curve. This one is going to accelerate and then going down, decelerate. Okay. There you go. Look at that. Very nice, very cool. And this arm also is extending too much to the side. Let's attempt to do the same with the arm. Like I'm gonna do this, and then at the end, let me scroll all the way up, go to the next keyframe right here. He's going to have his arm right here, right? And then it's going to extend. Alrighty, so let's see. Right, I don't love it. There's something going on in here, but hopefully you get the point, right? And that's what I did in here for this one. And it looks a little bit better. Now, let me go to anticipation. Anticipation is, and yes, Ken, it adds perspective. Exactly. It's very subtle, but that's what it does. It adds a little bit of perspective, right? So now I'm going to explain a little bit about anticipation. Anticipation means that for every movement, you have your character prepare for that movement. That is wonderful for personality and wonderful for physics. In this case, if I want this character to jump away of the screen, I'm gonna play it and look, she's right there and then she's gonna jump away. She looks, she's not jumping away. She's like being sucked into it, like, like maybe some UFO took her away. Look at the difference between, oh, that one has anticipation. Look at this. The same movement, but this one, wow, oh, I believe this one is actually fighting like gravity. There's gravity. Like, yeah, I get that she can fly or jump really high, but now I think that this is more believable. Like, yeah, this is actually something that it's creating the illusion of life, right? Compared to this one. This is not fooling anyone. Like, ah, doesn't work, right? And so there's another concept when we talk about okay, so this is anticipation, right? We have slow in and slow out, anticipation, and now there's this other thing, follow through and overlapping action. The fastest way to explain it is with this object and this one. I come prepared. Actually, I have this all the time. But no, actually, I didn't have them before the class. I prepared. So the thing is, I didn't. I just have them. So here's the thing. You tell me which of these two objects has follow through and overlapping action. I'm going to just move them from one side to another. Right? That's option one. So if you think that's the one, you're going to type on the chat, you're going to type it like this, number one, or number two. Which one has overlapping and follow through? Number one or number, okay, we see two by Simone, Mark, two, Ali, two, Abby, two, Ken, two. Yes, the answer is number two. Richard, Sarah, yes, very good. Jeff, Michelle, Julia. All right. This is, Julia, Savelina, hello. So this has overlapping action. It has follow through. If I played this in slow motion, it would go like this. And then this part is being dragged into the motion. And then I stop, and then we have the follow through and overlapping action, right? It goes like this, right? So that is follow through and overlapping action. In Cartoon Animator, it's a little bit complicated to do that. Now, let me state that. In Cartoon Animator 4, you have to do it manually. The folks at Revolution are working their butts off to create magic for you, so you don't have to think about that. And on Cartoon Animator 5, that's going to be automated. All you are going to do is put a couple of bones and then say, this is the main bone. When you move it, everything is going to have automatic follow through. So it's pretty cool, and it's coming out in a couple of months. So I'm ready. I'm ready for it. So that's the thing. Overlapping action. Now, what can you do right now? Right now, what you can apply is a concept in follow through called aftermath. Right? Aftermath. Like what happens? Usually there's this thing, the AAA in animation: anticipation, action, and aftermath. Right? Anticipation, action, and aftermath. And I want to show you an example of how that can improve your animation. This is only the action. All right. It's a character pointing to himself, and that's it. Just a character pointing to himself. I'm going to press play. But like, I'm the man. I'm the coolest guy, right? So he's like, yeah. Now, if I want him to make him a little bit cocky, and he's a character that is very arrogant, very cocky, and I see this animation, I go like, nah, he's none of that. But what if I put anticipation, action, and right now I only see the action. There's no anticipation. This character is not getting ready, and there's nothing happening after. Let's do look at the difference. And also I added a little bit of face animation on this one. Look at this. There's a little anticipation. Before he points to himself, he kind of look at that. He kind of prepares and like goes down, goes up. Let me just go a little bit back. Look at how high he goes, and then lands on this pose. Very arrogant. I see this guy. Okay, that guy's cocky, right? Now this guy has personality. And if I put this in my animation, people who see it are going to connect with it in any way. Like this can remind them of some guy they hated in high school, or maybe their best friend. Like, oh yeah, he looks like my best friend, or this guy who's like, whatever it is. Now you cannot go meh on this guy. Like now you care a little bit more. If either you like him less, but that's an emotion, or you like him more. But the point is, it has personality. It's more impactful, right? For good or bad, now people will remember him more, and it would be your character. Now, and yes, Ken is commenting, like definitely adds personality to the motion. Now, I have a full course, like a full hour explaining all the thinking that went into this. And that is in a course, right? I can give you access if you guys are interested. Just let me know in the chat so I can get the link for you. And then this is an extra thing that is called the moving hold, something I applied in here. So I'm going to remove the moving hold. Okay, I have someone like, yeah, access please. Let me just get the link here really quick. I'm gonna put, this is usually I don't put this openly, but I will like, yeah, you know what? Let's what is it? Good timing. Good timing animation. This course is usually bundled with another one, but let me just, I'm getting it here. Copy. Okay, here's the link. You can access it through there. It's for free, right? So in there, that course is, if I go to my courses, not like that. Let me just go back. Well, I need it in a new tab. Is good timing. Some of you probably already have it. This one, good timing animation. In there, I go so much in detail, right, into it with project files and everything. So you can check it out. Now, I'm going to explain another term called the moving hold used in follow through. Let me play this. This is with the moving hold, and this is without. Let's see a comparison. Whoop. Can you see, like, this is the motion, and then he holds. Now, it looks like he takes a picture or something like, and then he holds. And you make it look more alive if at the end of the movement, I just add a little slight movement on this character, right? Okay, so this is the main thing. Like as a secondary motion, it's not exactly that, because secondary would mean this character is doing two things at the same time. And what I do recommend is, for those of you who don't have it, let me go to revolution.com. And if you go to products and then Cartoon Animator, you can go to learn and then the 12 principles. And this is for the webinar, but I believe later they should give you access to the course. When you already have Cartoon Animator 4, you have access to a free course that we're giving to those who own Cartoon Animator. And I go through the 12 principles. And in there, we actually do an exercise on secondary action. I recommend it, right? So you can check it out. Let me just copy and paste this. This is when you already buy Cartoon Animator. This is a free extra, right? Okay, so before I go to a really cool example of the ballerina, because guys, let me actually tell you something. I'm going to create a new one and then go to the project files. This one, like, if you see like, that's so cool. I wish I could do that. I wish I could do that animation. I'm gonna hide the other one, like this one. Like, Mark, that's so cool. But I don't think I could ever do that. Like, maybe it's not ballet for you. Maybe it's character doing kung fu kicks, or someone with a sword, like so, right? So how can I do that? Well, I'm gonna reveal it to you guys. Every single one of you could create something like this. You just have to pick the correct references. So let me just go back to here. And before that, Savelina, I saw you here. Would you give me permission to also share one animation that you sent me? I think it's pretty cool, but I do see this thing, and I could give you like a little bit of coaching right here live, so you can take this tip, right? But I need your permission. So if just let me know on the chat. But look at this. This is something that if you use motion clips, usually this is what you get. A character that is not really walking. There's a sliding in here. Do you see it? Right. This is a character going against physics. There's no friction in this is not a physical world. Compare that with this walk cycle. That's a character walking there. Right. Very common in animation, the feet slide. Yes, that feet slide, common in Cartoon Animator 4. So how do you fix it? I'm going to do a quick demonstration in here. A new character. And for this one, we're going to add Martha. Martha in the profile view. Right. Now let's say that, yes, I have Martha, but let's say that I actually want Martha. Yeah, but I want her to walk to the other side. How do I do that? Well, I can just have her selected and then click on flip. Boop, that's it. There you go. So now I go to animation right here. I'm in content manager. And then I click on animation and then motion, right? Then human, Turner's female, side. Then she's going to walk. Let's find the walk, start, loop, and okay, so I think this would be it. She starts walking, and then the loop, she takes a couple of steps, and then she finishes. Actually, this one already has the movement included. Wow. Okay, for this is I didn't know that. Let me take the original ones. Okay, those are pretty cool because this is guys at Revolution, kudos for you. Here's a donut for you, an imaginary donut. So I'm going to use this one instead. Okay, yeah, this is the one that I was looking for, the old one. In the old one, you had this, like the character stays in place, right? What? Didn't it add anything? And then this one, and then this one. Okay, I messed it up. Let me right click, remove object animation. Go to the beginning. And then remove everything. Motion. Perfect. Okay, now she's back to 0. I want this one. She starts and then walk, the loop, and then she finishes walking. Okay, so first is in a new update, you have these ones. Those ones are great because the character now moves naturally. I'm using the old ones. So if you use the old ones and I have the character and she starts moving, usually the mistake that a lot of people do is they just move her like this, right? I'm holding shift. This is our technique. She can be going up and down, but if I hold shift, I move the mouse up and down and she constrains the movement, right? So look at this. Actually, I kind of got it right there. Wow, very good, Mark. Usually that doesn't happen. I'm going to go to the last keyframe and then move her maybe a little bit less. This is what I see a lot of the time. Like she's sliding. Do you see? So the way you fix that is that on the ending keyframe, right here, the ending keyframe, I just have her move away a little bit more and play with that distance, right? She's sliding forward now. That was too much. So a little bit back and then play it. Right. Okay. Yes. Moonwalk. Exactly. Like moonwalking weirdly. So that's something that I recommend you do. Now, let's go to the ballerina. Like, how can any one of you, like all of you, do the ballerina? Okay. I'm going to share you the secret. I'm going to open. And the cool thing about Cartoon Animator is that you can record the clips. So I can take, like, for example, this one, red, right here. I just click and drag. And then I can go to animation. And then I can go to custom motion. And you can see that I have one that says ballerina, right? Look. All I did was click and drag. Like, I took hours to do this animation, right? Which, by the way, didn't feel like hours. I honestly, I was like, let me do this in 20 minutes, like 20 minutes. And yeah, it felt like 20 minutes, but when I look at the clock, I had so much fun that it was like, oh, to like an hour or something like that. And like, how can any one of you do this? Well, the first thing I want to share with you is I'm going to take this and flip it so you can see all the motion in this direction, right? And now look at this. Look at the position he has right now. Okay, pay attention. Now I'm going to go to YouTube. Aha! Mark, you didn't, you cheater. Yes, sir, I am. The thing is, it's not exactly rotoscoping, but it's very similar. What I did is that I don't do for every single position, but when I'm animating, I move forward 4 frames, just 4 frames. And I'm going to stop sharing really quick just so I can show you. When you pause the video on YouTube, you can then use this in your keyboard. Not in mobile, I don't know how to do it, but on a PC, you can use the period and comma, right? Those two. You can go back and forth. And then Timothy says, it's not cheating, it's constructive referencing. And actually, that's what Walt Disney did. If you look at Snow White, that's what they did. Like, that's why Snow White and all the humans look so natural. And for the dwarfs, they were like more cartoony because it was on purpose, right? And you can actually find that, like, let me just Snow White real human references for the movie. Let's see, like this. This is like when they were dancing, right? This is how they did it, and why the thing looks like very real, because they would shoot all of this and they would just draw on top of it. Well, actually, not directly on top of it, but they would copy each frame, right? So all this was copied from actual, look at this, like all these expressions. Now that you have the reference, of course, in animation, you exaggerate it a little bit more. But look at that. That's the actors they use. So this is pretty cool. And all you do is you just make it a little bit more exaggerated. But it's pretty cool, right? If you want, I can post this because it's really interesting to see. And that's why, like, to do this, you need a little bit of humility, right? You need, like, okay, you know what? I don't know how to do this. That's the first step. Like, I don't know how to do a valid dance. And so I just did this. Look, I'm going to go for 4 frames forward. Look at this position. Look at this position. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then in here, 1, 2. It's not moving. Let me open this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at that. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. And then in here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Aha. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all I did. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I noticed, oh, she's starting to fall. 1, 2, 3, 4. So in here, she's also starting to fall. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, she's going to catch herself with this leg. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's why it looks so natural. 1, 2, 3, 4. So yes, I sample every 4 frames and let the program interpolate for me. For those of you, again, interpolation is also the in-betweening, the twinning between the poses, right? And so, guys, it's so much fun to do this because it looks so cool. It's so satisfying to see like how your animation is coming out. And this, like how she, look at the anticipation for the next movement. She goes down, like she's up and then she goes down a little bit. Very interesting. So in here, I also have the character go a little bit down and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, going up and then go 1, 2, 3, 4. This little jump, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, anticipating the next movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Really cool, right? I love this process. And then now in this one, she keeps dancing, like she does that pose and then she keeps doing more stuff. But in mine, I thought this is a pretty cool way to end it. Oops, I wanted to go frame by frame. And so I just ended the movement right there. Now, of course, it was so much fun. I spent a lot of time, but it was so much fun. And at the end, I can save the motion and then I can have another character. Let's have, hey, Martha, do you want to dance with me? Yeah. Let's pretend that I have a niece and she used to be in ballet, not anymore, but she used to some time ago. And I could do this for her, like have that, go to animation, and then just use that clip. Look at that. Now I have 2 characters dancing, as simple as that. And of course, I can have this kind of was too small. Right? Really cool. Really cool. I'm bringing her back again. Oops. I'm messing this up. Transform. Let me select this and bring it to the beginning. Right? So look at that. Really, really simple, really easy, really cool. I love this. So cool. Not only that, like I can bring a couple more characters into the scene and without any struggle. I'm not struggling at all. Like, let me go to Campus Heroes. We can bring like Kristen, right? This one. I'm gonna bring her, and then I'm gonna bring another one. So like, Mark, 2 more characters? Yeah, and I'm not gonna struggle. I'm not gonna sweat it. Like, she's also going to be there. And then this one is going to be here. And then just, yeah, and by the way, I'm using the planes. I'm just clicking here and bringing her back a little bit and then flip this one. So all I do, again, animation, and just select the ballerina for this one. And then look at that. And then the ballerina for this one. Oh my goodness. Then happy birthday or whatever it is, right? So this is so cool, isn't it? And perfect choreography. Wow. So that's it. That's it for the 12 principles. And that's how you apply. And at the end, the best thing to follow the principles to perfection is a reference. The reference already has like the anticipation, the follow through, everything that you're looking for is right there. The slowing is there, the anticipation, the follow through, the timing. Oh, I didn't went to the timing. The timing is just like the rhythm to make stuff look organic. But timing, we went through it when we changed the character walking, right? Oh, actually, that was not the timing. Okay, I'm gonna omit that because we run out of time and I want to answer questions, a little Q&A. All right, so let's keep at least these 3, right? And again, if you want to go more deeper into the timing, you have free access for those of you who get Cartoon Animator to the whole course where I cover the 12 principles inside Cartoon Animator. All right. Okay, so that's it. Now we can go to Q&A. Right. Hey.
Hey guys, I'm back.
What's
How's
up?
it going? I changed the position of my headphones. Yeah, they get uncomfortable in like one position, so I was gotta like switch them around a little bit to just, I don't know. I think it's just kind of like an OCD thing with me, just like change around. Anyways, all right. Yeah, thanks for that, Mark. Awesome presentation, and like hopefully you guys all learned a little bit about just the basics, the fundamentals. The first three fundamentals of animation, to be honest. Once you get these things down, everything else comes a lot more easily, and your animations will start to look a lot more amazing in the end. So yeah, like Mark said, we're gonna go ahead and do the Q&A now. I'm just gonna like put this here. There we go. So do you guys have any questions? I think there's a few questions already in the Q&A, so we'll answer those. But any questions, guys, for me or Mark about Revolution, Cartoon Animator in general, anything, we're more than happy to answer your questions. So let's go ahead and start with our Q&A.
Oh, but while you ask the first, I'm gonna get some water. I'll be back in 1 minute.
Yeah, hydration is important. Yeah. Okay, so the first one is from Bill Hernandez. Notice that all the G3 360 characters are plain with no line work, like the G2 style characters. Is there any way to create a G3 360 character with the G2 character look? What's the best way to do that? Okay, that's a good question, actually, because the G2 and the G3 characters, they're fundamentally different in a few ways. Like I mentioned, the G2 characters, they have 9 different angles. They can actually rotate. Mark, we're talking about the G2 versus G3 characters.
Yeah, I heard. I had the speakers.
Yes. Oh, you got the monitors on. Okay. Yeah, so in the G2 characters, they do have they are vector-based characters. So they're you can zoom in, zoom out. It won't distort the look of the character. G2 characters also have like fairly heavy black outlines on them. I mean, let's see here. And Bill's question is, can you create a G3 360 character that has a G2 character look? Yeah, absolutely you can. Obviously it's not going to be 360 rotatable like the G2 characters. But I mean, and the vector thing is coming in Cartoon Animator 5 again. So the vector-based images, that's one thing that's in G2, but not in G3. I'm not sure if that's what you're getting at, but I think generally the heavy black outline on the characters would be the visual difference between the two. And that's easy to do in G3 360 characters. I mean, I'm not sure if you're encountering a specific problem with that. So maybe Bill, maybe you can kind of elaborate a little bit on what kind of problem you're facing to do that. Because for me, it's an aesthetic, it's a visual thing that you can just basically do the heavy outlines on the G3 characters. Yes. So maybe if you want to elaborate a little bit on what sort of issue you may be encountering.
I actually do have an example, but I need her permission. Let me see, Sabelina, Julia, are you here? If so, if you could let me know, let me see. Julia, yes. Would you give me permission to share the animation of the dragon? Because that is a perfect example of what, okay, so yeah, alrighty. So let me just, before I'm going to load our chat, but not gonna share it.
Okay, so Bill did elaborate. He said making the black outline look good in G3 360, which is tricky without the vector, but
yes, but I mean she's a wonderful artist.
Sure.
Let me just get it here. I'm getting it. And here it is. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. She did everything, like the background and etc. She's an artist, like, oh, really here. I'm gonna promote you a little bit, Julia. Like, look at this was done in Cartoon Animator combined with a little bit of After Effects, right? So the way this was rigged is that all of this is like one, like actually, Julia, it would be so cool if later you can provide this on our school, and then I can also create a video on it probably for students so they can see like, oh yeah. And yeah, this is her gallery, right? She has a ton of really cool stuff, right? So she loves dragons, as you can see. And so yeah, like wow, it's like pretty cool stuff. And now she's bringing those paintings into animation, right? So
Wow.
the
Lovely
the
painting.
the main thing here is we need to like, the thinking that goes into it is that you basically have layers that have outline, and then you stop the outline, and then all of this is part of the arm without, like, let me just kind of use the board here. It's like,
So that's just a custom rig, yeah.
it's a custom rig, yes.
Mhm.
But it, like, I have, if this is the object of the arm, and this is going to connect with the other arm, this would have outline, right? All of this, and then it stops. The outline stops there, and then this also has outline, and then this should be empty. Kind of. That's what I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, I think that might be what Bill's getting at. Actually, it is a matter of obviously when the joints move, not having the black lines kind of interfere too much with the interior of the character's sprite, I guess you can say.
Mhm.
So what Mark just mentioned there is actually important. Having the black outlines in the correct places, and it's really a method of trial and error, to be honest.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it depends on the demands of your character, the angle of your character. We saw Yulia's character was 90 degrees, so facing 90 degrees. Yeah, each one will be different. So it's unfortunately right now there's no easy solution to that. It's just a matter of kind of trial and error, to be
And
honest, Bill.
yes.
Yeah, but good question though. I think that's you know, a lot of any questions about the differences between the character types are very valid for sure. Bob Martone just says top. Cool. I'm not sure if that's a question.
Probably was when I was interacting. When, which
Oh
one do you
yeah, he
think it
might have
is?
assumed
Like,
in the Q&A window instead of the chat window, right? Yeah. All right. Okay, another question from Bill. What's the best way to transition from side view to front view when animating a character with different views? We get this like every single webinar. I think we get this question. Mark, did you want to take that one then?
from side to front.
Yeah, so side to front view, the best way to transition between the two, because obviously it's not a 3D character, right?
Yes. I'm gonna share my screen really quick just to give a quick demonstration of the Valerinos. Let me go to create a new one. And so I go to actor, and let's say like what you're asking is, okay, I have Eva or Eva, and then I want her to walk to the side and then look forward again, right? So I have this character right here. And then I want her to walk maybe to the side and then like look forward again. Is that what you're asking? Let me, if you can.
Yeah, it's just changing the character angle. Yeah.
I can tell you what I do, right? What I do is I have two characters sharing the exact same. Let me just take this, for example. Two characters right there, but one is going to be hidden and the other one is going to be showing, right? And this one, I want her to walk to this direction, right? There are many ways to do it. I'm gonna show you what I think is the fastest way. I just have those two. I have them aligned, right? And then all I do is I'm going to focus first on this one. She's gonna be standing there, content manager, animation, and then she's going to go to, right now I'm on custom. Let me go to template, and then Turner's female front. She's just gonna be like, let's see, what can I have her do? Idle breath, like just doing, is she oh no, okay, I didn't like it. Not much went down. Idle stand, this one, it's more natural. Okay, so idle stand, right? after she stands, I'm gonna leave a little bit of animation in there. Now she's gonna start walking in there, right? At the end, with her selected, I click here and then select motion. And at the end of this pose, right here, she's gonna start walking to the side. So for that, I need Turner's female side. And then she's gonna start walking, but I'm gonna use this, right? It's gonna look weird, by the way. I click this. Okay, so probably I need to flip her. Let me go to the beginning and flip her around. Perfect. So now I'm going to press Alt and then click and drag in here in the timeline. Then she's gonna start walking, and I expect this to look weird, right? And then loop, and then stop, right? All of this looks really weird. That's okay. I only want this to be synchronized. Now I go back to the front, and then I'm gonna just have her pose stands, right? But in here, I need to put this connected, and then I'm going to transition a little bit. I'm going a little bit fast in here. Now, all I have to do is do the exact same thing for the other one. Now, I want to have them in sync. And again, I'm just taking I'm taking a little bit more by explaining, but you can see that this is actually really fast. It's idle stand. First, I go to frame 1, idle stand. I'm gonna stop, click on motion, and just skip all this animation. Go to where she's gonna start walking the side, and then she starts like walking here, and then a loop, and then she ends. And then at the end, she's going to be just standing, pose stand. Right? Was that? I think so. And then a little bit of transition like this. So look at what I'm going to do now. Both characters are in sync. So now I'm going to show both. Both are showing, but now I'm going to have the side one and just click here to hide her. Boop. She's hidden. And then she's doing all this animation, right? Like all of this. And then when she starts walking, like right here, I'm going to just hide her, right? Like, oh, sorry, I want to hide Eva front. She hides, and then I show the side. Boop, right there. So look at this. And then she walks to the side. And then she can go to where she turns forward. Like right here, I can have her hide again and then show the front. Boop. Now this switch feels a little bit abrupt. So what I do is a little bit early, maybe not right there, like the switch happens here. I'm gonna go back like 1, 2, 3, maybe 3 frames around there. And in there is where I'm going to have the switch instead, right? So look at this. Now, probably what I would do is use the other side. This one was too aggressive, but hopefully with this, you get the point, right? Like it's there, and then she looks forward again.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect example. Basically, it's kind of like it's a little bit of a workaround because you're working in a 2-dimensional environment, obviously. So you're making one character, invisible, the other one visible, and whatnot at specific times. With 2D animation. Sorry, go ahead.
Really quick, like if you do this traditionally, that process would take you more than an hour. How much did it took me? 2-3 minutes. Right? It's insanely, stupidly fast. It's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a lot of different 2D animation styles as well too. Like there's like the smoother. Some people want we do have the 360 heads which have a smooth transition to 90-degree angles and stuff like that. But for the body, there's you're kind of limited in that regard. So, but excuse me, what Mark showed is actually quite good. That's basically the recommended way to do it right now with Cartoon Animator. But I know we all know that Cartoon Animator 5 is coming up with some some new stuff.
Yeah, actually, in Cartoon Animator, one of the things they're working on is be able to rotate the torso also.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
still struggling because it's
Spoiler alert.
but I mean it's very easy for us to cannot you guys just do it like yeah guys, when you're the developer like how so it's coding it is such a hell. But yeah,
it takes a lot of smart guys to be able to work that in the background on the R&D. I think our engineers at Revolution do an awesome job developing the software. Yeah, cool. I think that was a very good question again from Bill, and hopefully that helped a lot of people. That's actually one of the fundamental things that I think you need to learn about animating in 2D is how to do that. So it was very, very good answer there. Anonymous attendee is asking how much time Mark spent to create the animation for the ballerina.
Again, it feels I can tell you how much time I felt I spent. 20 minutes. If you ask me, I would say like just 20 minutes. It's really fast. But it's not true. I had the clock right there telling me the truth. It felt like 20 minutes, but I believe it was like an hour and a half probably. And I only realized says Julia Sabelina, it took me 1 day for my animation. But I mean, this is not my first animation. I have some experience, but following the reference, it took me like probably an hour and a half. But you can really fast. Right now, you can just like how many key poses I used, like every 4, right? Like tick, tick, tick. Probably it was like 20 positions. And it takes like 1 or 2 minutes but on each one. And it's so much fun that time goes. Like when you play video games, that, oh my God, it's night. Gotta go to sleep, right? That happens.
I think we can all relate to that, yeah.
Right. So,
but Mark, I kind of have the sneaking suspicion that you might have cheated and just thrown on a mocap suit and done the ballerina stuff yourself.
at that
we'll
time,
never
I
know for
didn't.
sure, I guess.
La, 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 la.
For those of you who don't know, Mark has formal ballerina training. No, I'm just kidding. There you go. Fantastic.
But my mom, and all my sisters have ballet that I do have some influence, but I don't dance.
Awesome. So you have a little bit of a background. Okay. All right, let's move on from the ballerina question then. This from Abby J. Can you draw your own characters? I scanned the course titles and the part that looked like fit best only showed how to backpack sprites into an existing project. Yeah, I'll answer that really quickly first, and maybe Mark can elaborate a little bit. Abby, when you're creating your characters, generally you do have to draw them to start your custom characters. There's a number of different tutorials on our learning center. I'm just going to steal the screen here for a sec, Mark. I'm going to share my screen real quick here, and I'll show you where the learning center is for. So basically, any Revolution software, if you go to the main page under products, in this case, we're going to go to Cartoon Animator and go over to Learn, and you'll find the tutorials all right here. There's webinars where you'll find our webinars and stuff, and tutorials up here. So if you go into tutorials, they're all categorized into different categories here. And generally, the one that you'd want to look at here would be, sorry, I'm just moving windows out of the way here in Zoom, would be what character right here. So this section here of tutorials I did, I guess, a couple of years, 2-3 years ago now, when Cartoon Animator 4 just released, you'll find all your character creation tutorials right here. I could even just throw this link in the chat window for you guys real quick if you want it. But yeah, everything's here. You do have to draw your own characters, but of course, there is a method to drawing them. Essentially, your layers in Photoshop, if you're familiar with Photoshop, you have layers, right? Your layers, each layer will correspond to a different body part. So for example, you'll have a layer for the lower arm, you'll have a layer for the head, you'll have a layer for the ears, and so on and so forth. But you do have to draw your own character, obviously if you want to customize it, but we have templates that are provided, and you'll find those in the tutorials, beginning tutorials, that basically provide you with a Photoshop project that will allow you to create your own character from that, and you just follow the steps. It's quite simple. Did you want to add anything onto that, Mark? Or
Yeah, really quick, is just making something super clear to you, Abby, if you're totally new to Cartoon Animator, is you don't draw inside Cartoon Animator. You draw on your favorite software, and then you bring the drawings in Cartoon Animator. Think of Cartoon Animator like a factory that brings material to life, right? And the thinking that went into it is that instead of like the engineers at Revolution, instead of thinking, you know what, let's create this set of brushes and this set of like, yeah, but what if it's not your favorite? So you know what? What if we only handle the animation and all the artists can have their favorite software for their own character creations, and all you do is like, oh, perfect, so I can use Affinity. Yes, you can use Affinity. Can I use Clip Studio? Yes, you can use Clip Studio. But I use Photoshop. Use Photoshop. Whatever you use, you design your characters and create them there in your favorite software, and you only bring them to the animation factory, Cartoon Animator, for, right?
yeah,
So
very,
yeah.
very good point. For those of you who are newbies kind of to the software, you can't draw your characters in Cartoon Animator. So there's a pipeline that we offer to Photoshop is the one we always use in the tutorials. But like Mark said, there's also free software out there. GIMP, Affinity, I believe, is free of charge as well. Yeah. That's hopefully that clarifies that for you, Abby. All right, Darian, are you able to like draw or create your own characters in Cartoon? I think that we kind of just
Oh yes, yeah,
question.
that would
So
be.
Darian just asked, are you able to draw or create your own characters in Cartoon Animator, or do you have to import them? I think we pretty much answered that
Yeah,
question.
it's you
If
create
you need
them
more
in
elaboration, oh sorry, Darian, if you need more elaboration on that, any more details, you feel free to just put another question in the Q&A and we'll get to that for you. The next question is from Bill. It seems that the lines get in the way when creating a character for 360 rigging.
I have the same reaction. So Bill, if there's like a video or something on YouTube or something that you can share also, like, I mean like this, because the question was not specific enough. Sorry about that. But I would say, yeah, maybe the lines can get in the way, so you just have to be smart about it. But still, I don't know exactly what you mean. Right. But so if you can bring a reference, that would be awesome.
Yeah, and Bill, I would also recommend, if you haven't already, just checking out this page that I just put in the chat window with all the character creation tutorials.
Yes.
There is some stuff in there about, the lines of, being in the right place. So just check that out as well. Let's go into the next question for now, though. This is from Alan. I have Cartoon Animator 4 Pro. What bundle should I upgrade to, and how can I do this? Okay, here's a good question from Alan that may be tricky for newcomers. Cartoon Animator 4 Pro does not allow for the full-scale import and export of the template for loading of PSD files, shall I say. So if you want to customize your character with Cartoon Animator 4 Pro, then you have to individually bring in different images and assign them as different sprites on your character's body. So like, for example, the lower arm sprite or the upper arm sprite or the hand sprite. You have to do that one by one if you're using Cartoon Animator 4 Pro. Whereas if you're using the pipeline version allows you to import a PSD file as a template, and it just automatically assigns everything. So that's kind of it's much faster way. But again, you can do the same process using both versions, but just the pipeline version, it's a lot quicker and easier. So hopefully that answers your question, Alan. And if you are logged into your account, your Revolution account, and you go to the software store, then it will give you a special upgrade price. It'll know who you are. It'll know what license you have, and it'll offer you that special upgrade price if you want to upgrade from Pro to Pipeline.
Oh, that's cool. That's new, right? Really nice.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can always with the Pro version, it's a little less expensive. You can just it just takes a longer time in essence,
Yeah.
to be honest. Yeah.
Then
Okay.
Walter.
Walter has two problems. We'll get to that after. There's a couple of questions from Ken in between that, so we'll get to Ken's
Okay.
first. Any chance Revolution could add AI mocap for 2D and 3D? Extracting, he elaborates here, extracting 3D motions from videos. That is
Like
actually,
Clip Studio, right? I think Clip Studio have something like that.
yeah, I mean, stuff like that. We do have that for iClone in terms of facial animation. So, you can load a video into
Oh,
our
really?
iClone for the face.
I didn't
Yeah, for
know
faceware.
that.
Faceware only though. Faceware only, not for iPhone.
Okay.
You can load an image sequence of a facial animation, and it'll transfer that to your character. It'll basically track the face facial features on the
Sheesh.
video, and it'll apply that to your character. So it's only a matter of time before that's added to 2D, to Cartoon Animator. For the face. For the body, that is a whole new can of worms, because that requires tracking body bones as opposed to facial bones, facial features, which is a bit more complicated. And of course there's I
Like
know this
rotating.
technology. Yeah, and rotation is the worst. It destroys all that kind of technology for now. We'll see how far it goes in the future. It's like when iClone first started motion capture with iClone, and gosh, this would have been like, I don't know, 2015, 2016. We were using the Xbox Connect, the Microsoft Connect. And you could track your body really well, like all those video games you play on Xbox. You can track your body, like the dancing ones and whatnot. You can track it really well. The only issue is like when you go like this, suddenly my left hand, you can't see it anymore. So when you can't see the left hand anymore, then the character on the screen goes like that, because it's like trying to catch it, right? It's like trying to capture it. Yeah, it's like, oh, where is it? It's like, oh, so your character looks like he's just having a spasm or something, and yeah, it looks kind of weird. But thankfully we have motion capture is one area that has been. I just came back from SIGGRAPH, which is the computer graphics conference, the biggest one in the world. It was just in Vancouver, and I'll tell you that motion capture, they took up a large percentage of the exhibitions there, because motion capture is it's becoming more accessible for people. Even 5 years ago, motion capture was like a million, you have to have like $1 million, like, and be a major motion studio or a major movie studio to be able to afford it. But now with things like Rococo and Perception Neuron, even XSense is relatively, it's much more affordable for the average person. And one thing that Revolution is doing is we're like really super into that industry. We're compatible with all the major tools. So yeah, I would really look into motion capture with any Revolution product, Cartoon Animator included as well. So I hope that answers your question there, Ken. I know I kind of went on a little bit of a preachy kind of thing there, but all right, now we're back at Walter's question. He has two problems. When I find a product in the market or in Revolution offers, it should let us plan to get it, even that it was chosen to buy. Otherwise, I must look after again to mount my. I'm not. It's kind of a little bit of confusing. The phrasing is a little bit confusing.
Probably you mean there's. I think there's this thing like for wish lists, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean we have a wish list in the content store. Product in the market.
But I don't know if that's.
Oh yeah. So okay. Oh yeah. I think that makes sense. Yeah. Good call, Mark. I think he's talking about just maybe having a wish list.
Yeah,
Um,
because look, I can share my screen really quick.
hmm,
And let's say, for example, that I'm getting stuff for iClone, right? Let me just, can I go back? Oh, I'm not sharing yet. There you go. Okay, so
yep,
for
the
example, let's
channel.
say that I go to the 360 head maker, right? And then, so what you're saying is, can I save this, like, so I can check it out later, right? And so, okay, I see what you, I don't know if that's what you mean. Like, okay, but maybe you, instead of adding it to the cart, you want to save it for later. Is is that what you mean? You can type it on the chat.
I think
Um,
that's probably what he means. Maybe you can elaborate a bit more, Walter.
but
But
for now, I can tell you what I do. I have a personal, like on Discord, I have a personal stuff. Look at this shopping list. And it's just like, guys, I'm incredibly impulsive, and that has saved me from impulsive purchases. So look, I'm gonna share it with you. It's very personal, but still, like, you're gonna, oh, that's what Mark likes. But that's what I do. Like, I see stuff that, oh, I want to buy it, and then I put it here, right? Like, even you can see like some courses, some, like, these are actually from Revolution, right? Like, oh, later I'm gonna jig it out later, right? Actually, this one, some of those I already bought, right? This is also for Revolution, like, oh, beard and brows. This is for iClone, like, oh, right? So for now, what you could do is just have like a note where you see the link, and, I gotta check that later, right? But that's a workaround. But yeah, I think that's a cool feature, some feedback for marketing team to have like a favorite or wish list.
I
Yeah.
thought we had a wish list. No, I'm pretty sure.
In some parts, yes, but I let me go back to where
I
was
mean, it's
it?
pretty basic stuff.
But like, for example, if I go to, let's say, this one I can click on this little heart, but not all of them have this little heart, right? And
Oh
then,
yeah, yeah. You're right. Some of them. I mean,
so
it's not fully updated. Some of them don't have the
yes,
little heart, but yeah, it'll show up in your right
and
there.
if you want to see it, you just go here in the wish list.
Yeah, so yeah.
But
There's your wish list. Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
hottest ones, like that one that I just, I closed it. That, let me go back to the content store. Like, for example, the head creator, that didn't have it. Okay, so yeah, that makes sense. More Cartoon Animator. Let's see if this one has it, because sometimes when it has like a really cool landing page, usually it's not there. Like, for example, this one, right? And this is the one that you promoted. Oh no, but okay, but some of them haven't. When the whole landing page is like, I want it, we cannot save it. Okay, so that's good feedback. Thank you, Walter.
All right. Next one from Nashwa El Shorbagi. El Shorbagi. I'm not sure. Probably butchered that name, but apologies for that. Your advice to be professional. You're more professional than I am, Mark. Why don't you answer that one?
Oh, you're more
I'm an
professional than
amateur.
I am. No, you're more professional. No, I am not a professional animator. I'm a professional teacher, right? That's my thing. People want to hire me as an animator, and then I go like, I only do animations for my courses. So, and I instead share, like, I refer them to graduates from our school. But I can tell you this: if you want to be a professional, I recommend you learn business, right? Your animation skills are required, but you don't have to be amazing. You just need to be decent. What counts is your marketing skills, being able to satisfy a client. That's what you're looking for, right? We have had some, like, I do know a professional animator. For those of you who don't know, Howard Wimshurst, I'm friends with him. We have come to our school to give some talks about being professional animator, right? And he actually has a new course coming out on how to be like the way of the professional animator. And in his course, he's covering like everything that he does, like putting a portfolio, having clients come to you instead of you begging them to give you some job. So yeah, in general, I big like there's a whole course for that. Like we could write a whole book on it. But the thing is, it's not just the animation, it's also learning to market yourself, and for that you need to learn business and marketing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean that goes with any freelance animator, freelance artist. You
Yes.
definitely need to know how to deal with the business types, and people just you always get that age old oh we'll pay you with exposure.
Yes. Yeah,
Never
yeah.
accept that. Never accept that, guys. That's the worst. Anyways, okay. Next question from Yulia.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
know when Cartoon Animator 5 will be released and the upgrade free or paid? So to answer, yeah, it's a couple simple answers there. We're looking at a probably November release at this time, end of this year. And in terms of free upgrade, we don't have a free upgrade. So when you go from like versions for like 3 to 4 to 5, it's not a free upgrade for that, but there is like a heavily discounted upgrade price. It's like half, like not even half the price or something like that.
Of the full course,
When you upgrade from like
I
4 to
mean the full
5.
software.
Yeah, for the
Yeah,
full software. Yeah.
and the thing, just to clarify, like when you get version 4, 4.1 is the same, it's free. 4.2, some new features, it's free. But when it comes from 4 to 5, now it's not free because there's a ton of investment put. Like the guys, I saw the developers beating their brains out to figure out like this they would come like, Mark, what do you think of this, to get some feedback, and like, interesting, but and so it's really hard, and so that it's such an investment, and they have to recover some of that investment, so it cannot be free. It doesn't make sense to give it for free, but it is heavily discounted, right? So yeah.
Yeah, and there's like normally a 3-year product cycle, I think, between versions. About 3 years, I would say. So there's like Mark said, 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, 4, and they all updates include new features, and those features are all just completely free. But when it comes to the full release, yeah, then that's when you got to pay the upgrade price. But of course, there's loyalty pricing. I'm not in that department, but they do that stuff for sure. Let's go to the next one. Another one from Walter. To get other one is to get the tune from iClone. It should be better. It should be so much better if we could get it as Blender, that make it a plain figure, but innovating without scratch sides, error, noise on the character. The way it's phrased is a little confusing. But I think generally what Walter is talking about is bringing your characters from iClone into Cartoon Animator. Now,
probably Walter, if you can type on the chat, are you referring to using like the toon shading in iClone? So we forget about Cartoon Animator, we are on iClone, and we use the toon shading, so the 3D looks like 2D, like in Blender, probably, because I've been thinking sometimes of doing that in iClone, but I don't know.
I think it's just generally getting an iClone character converted to a Cartoon Animator 4 character. But yeah, the toon shading is a good point. That's one of the shading modes in iClone that makes it appear more cartoonish. We won't get into that right now, but yeah, the best way to do that is just set your character up, your iClone character up in the pose that you want to have your standard pose for your what's the pose for the Cartoon Animator A pose, right?
The A pose, yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So yeah, get your iClone character in an A pose and then just save it as a PNG, I guess. And then you'd probably in Photoshop want to cut all those pieces out, and it's not the best workflow in the world for sure, but that's the way that it goes right now. If you want to have a 2D version of your 3D iClone character, I think to me that's the way that you would do it. I don't know if you have any better suggestions, Mark, but I think that's yeah.
I think that's a really good one.
Yeah, people don't often do that. They just generally in 2D they just draw their characters from scratch. Let's go for the next one. Next question, anyways, from Simon Falcone. Will owners of CTA4 get a special upgrade price CTA5? Yes, yes, they will.
Yes,
Absolutely.
really special price.
Super special price. Question from Anthony here. Linking Cartoon Animator 4 to iClone 7 and importing the motions to Cartoon Animator 4, will that work with iClone 8? Yes, absolutely. So we have what's called a motion link plugin.
I haven't used that one. Now that I have iClone 8, like, there's more things to play with.
Yeah, it's an amazing little plugin that we haven't promoted it a lot, but it's an amazing little plugin that essentially allows you to basically import 3D motions from iClone, which is our 3D software, and apply it to your 2D characters in Cartoon Animator. Now, this works the best with the G2 characters who are, full 360, obviously, but it does have a element of success as well with the G3 characters. You got to try it out, and it will require tweaking for sure. You will require some motion editing refinement, but it's really actually an amazing.
Still saves time.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, especially like for example, the other day I was working on an unrelated project, and we have this animation in iClone for the Thriller dance, like Michael Jackson or whatever. Is it like that? Is that's Backstreet Boys or I forget, anyways. But yeah, you bring that to your character. Yeah, that's the one. That's the Thriller. Backstreet Boys is like that one, like the Backstreets. Anyways, not karaoke night here. But yeah, I threw that onto my front-facing 2D G3 character. Worked really well. It took a bit of tweaking, from if you're an old hat at animating, it takes a handful of minutes, and it worked really well. So you know what? I'll just throw it in the live link, not live link, motion link. It's called. We have another plugin called Live Link, which is confusing. That's for something totally different though. Let's see, a Reillusion. Whoops! Holy cow! Reillusion motion link for cartoon. Whoops. I know you guys can't see my screen, I think, but I'll just throw this in the chat window. Yeah, for oh, and it just came up as a huge Google link. Oh, because I clicked on the ad. That's why. There we go. All right, motion link. Now where is my chat window? Zoom. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I just threw that into the chat window for you guys. If you want to learn more about, taking those 3D animations from iClone into Cartoon Animator, it's included free with if you buy the Motion Live for Cartoon Animator, which is your motion capture plugin, basically. We'll talk more about that later. If you guys have more questions about it, just check out that site, browse it on your own time. I don't want to get to too much detail on that right now, but let's move on to the next questions, because we still got a few more left before we end off the webinar here, and we'll cut it off at the hour mark, the Q&A. So apologies for those of you who don't get it in by the hour mark. Question from Bill: will Cartoon Animator 5 come with a better online store? LOL. It would be nice if the website would recognize when you were already purchasing something. Yeah, so this is a mechanism issue with the website, I guess. Completely not my department, but they're always improving. I know the guys that do the website development, and they're amazing guys. So they're well aware of issues, and they're always on top of it. But yeah, great feedback, Bill. We always have, you can always fill that in the survey we send off to later, make a better store or something, but
be specific, because that like I don't know what you mean. But if you can be very specific, like this part, and I struggle with this, and then now it's more actionable, right?
Yeah. Be specific with the feedback for sure. Walters, when I choose, it comes to finance and I have to buy all. I think that might be more of a comment than a question, but we'll go to the next one from Steve anyways. I have a Mac version of Cartoon Animator with the 3D to 2D sampler. I would like to get other 3D motion packs but I see the most 3D motion packs are for the Windows platform. Will these work on the Mac version? That's a good question. So obviously iClone only works on PC, it doesn't work on Mac. The iMotion files, gosh, I honestly think that, yeah, there's no compatibility, no cross compatibility. I think I came across this when it first launched a couple years ago. And yeah, I don't think, unfortunately, Steve, there's any cross-platform compatibility between the Mac and the PC, just because the file types are totally different, unfortunately. But so apologies for that. For those of you who are using on Mac, it is you're not able to do that. Yeah, so I should have mentioned that a little bit earlier before getting all the Mac users hyped up. But
I can take this one. Walter, you say I cannot buy all by now, but if maybe you forget which ones you wanted. Okay, I think is the follow-up to the question of, hey, how can I save something that you're interested in? It would be the way I'm doing it right now. Like, I'm interested in buying something and I save that link for later, right? And I have shopping list. It's you can use Evernote or Apple Notes or OneDrive, like anything that you use for notation, and just put a collection of links. But yeah, that would be it.
Hope that answers your question there, Walter. Okay, question from Anthony. I can't drop MP3 or PNG into iClone 8. Do I have to load K-code? No. You generally should be able to throw any MP4 or PNG into iClone 8. Anthony, if you're having issues, it's strange, but yeah, as always, make sure your codecs are all updated, and make sure that iClone is all updated. If you're still having issues, maybe send off a suggestion or a ticket to our customer support team and see if there's any technical issues why your particular file would not load into iClone 8, because it generally should be completely fine. Okay, let's go to Nashua here. Nashua, learning part by part or making a product or film using a lot of things and stop to learn what I really need instead of learning issues that don't have relation. This is a little tricky to understand.
Stop and learn what I really need instead of learning issues that I don't have. Oh, issues that are not related. Okay, learning part by part or making product or film using a lot of things. Okay, yes, let me see if I'm getting it. You want to do a film, and then yes, there's like a lot of things that you need to learn, like video editing, animation, character design, background, etc. And instead, stop to learn what I really need instead of things that are not related with the film. The answer to that, probably you could take test one free training that we have at 2D Animation 101. Right, let me just, in here, we have this free course, the step-by-step plan to make it easy to start your own animation, right? It's a 5-day mini series, right? And you basically do it 10 minutes a day, and I cover kind of the things that go into putting together a whole animation, the sound and everything, right? So you can take a look. I'm going to post the link. So yeah, you can check it out, right? It's a free mini course.
Yeah, everyone check out that free mini course from Mark. It's absolutely, even I used it and I learned some stuff. You can always learn some stuff from there. All right, let's get to the last few questions here, and then I think we'll end off. So the next question is from Yulia. Will it be possible to buy 4.5 via a friend or crypto? I mean, we don't accept crypto as payments as far as I know. It's all credit cards and PayPal. But you can, I mean, if you want to give your license to someone else, you can do so. Just have to give them your account password and stuff, and you can always change your account info and whatnot. So yeah, hopefully you're not fleecing your friends by selling them, like hey, pay me money for this software. Anyways, but yeah, you can definitely transfer your software to anyone, different accounts and whatnot, as long as that's a deal between you two. Revolution doesn't have any responsibility in regards to that. So
yeah, unfortunately, it has to be done like the payment is Visa, MasterCard, or PayPal. Oh, is it PayPal? No, I think Visa and MasterCard.
yeah, and there's also Visa, MasterCard. There's also Discover, which is a weird card to support, but we do. And I don't think Amex is on there. Yeah, cool.
Oh, yeah, that's so important. And also,
Nice.
Walter, you were posting on. I thought you were using the Q&A as the chat. One thing is the Q&A, the other is the chat. But I read your messages, Walter. You can write to me at MDS. I'm gonna put my email again, just right here in the chat, mds@2danimation101.com, right? Or you can also find me in here. Just go at the bottom, and at the bottom it says MDS. Right there is my email too, right? So yeah, you can write me there, and like you say, like it's because I have a script, etc. Again, that free course might help you. All right. So that's it, guys. Very good, Kai. Thank you.
Was that clap loud? Hopefully it wasn't too loud. Yeah. Thanks so much, everyone, for being here with us today, and thank you again, Mark, as always, for letting us sharing your skills with the team and showing your skills with all the new users of Cartoon Animator. And Mark has, like I mentioned, like we've seen before, Mark has a whole bunch of courses available that are going to blow your mind, going to help you learn a lot to use the software. Yeah, so I think we'll just go from there. Mark, did you want to add anything as well?
That's it. That's that's all, folks.
Right on. All right. So thanks again, everyone. Don't forget to fill the survey, send it back to us, get your 10% discount for the content store. Sign up for the YouTube channel, all that marketing stuff, I should say, at the end of the webinar. And we'll take our leave. So adios, Mark, over there in Mexico. And everyone, thanks again for being with us. And we'll end it off from there. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Take care, guys.